Hi, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Mark Lambert, VP of Strategic Initiatives at Parasoft, and today I'm joined by my colleague Grigory Grigory, can you say your last name for me? I totally tripped it up.
Sure, Mark. My name is Grigory Trofimov. I'm a Senior Solution Architect at Parasoft. I've been here for about 5 years and really excited to talk about digital transformation, service virtualization, and Agile today.
Great, thank you, Grigory, and sorry for messing your name up. So as Grigory mentioned, today we're going to be talking about service virtualization, how to choose the right service virtualization solution, everything you're going to need to know, things that you should look out for that you need today, things that you're going to need in the future. And with that being said, let's kind of get straight into it. As I said, I'm Mark, this is Grigory. We're going to be jointly presenting today. This is what we look like when we're not COVID working from home. We're going to split today's agenda up into 4 areas. First of all, we're going to talk about service virtualization, how it can be leveraged to achieve continuous testing. We're also going to talk about some of the other use cases before we dive in there as well. Grigory will kind of talk through some of his experiences working with clients with service virtualization. We'll then talk about all of the different things, features, capabilities, your complete checklist of things that you will need for a service virtualization solution in the long term. And we'll break that down and focus on 4 core capabilities that you need for scalable automation and maximizing your ROI of your service virtualization initiative. At the end, we're going to give you a couple of links about how you can get started today. We'll talk about Parasoft's service virtualization solution, the community edition version that's available free, and you can just basically register your email and start playing immediately, as well as we'll talk about the white paper of kind of supporting today's webinar, which will kind of break down into even more detail. So with that being said, Grigory, why don't you kick us off and talk about some of the use cases for service virtualization?
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so in the context of today's presentation, we're really going to be focusing on the quality assurance side. But before we dive into that, we do see a lot of applications of service virtualization across the industry, across the SDLC. For example, we're seeing it in development, in the prototyping stages with developer sandboxes. We're also seeing it on the operations side of things with sales demo environments, training environments, customer integration sandboxes, which really kind of enable customer success, customer satisfaction. But as I mentioned, today's presentation is really about testing and test automation. And here at Parasoft, we do talk about and think about testing a lot. And one analogy that we really like that really comes to mind is that of a faucet. And actually, I didn't really think about how good of an analogy a faucet is to software testing until about a month ago when we bought our first house, and we went around the house during the inspection. We turned on all the faucets, turned them off, made sure water's on and off, and everything looked good until maybe a few days after we moved in. At night, about 1 or 2 a.m., you start to hear that dripping noise, right? That drip, drip, drip. And that's really what we're trying to avoid from a software testing side and the test automation side. That's why we do continuous testing, is to be able to identify things like that as early as possible in the SDLC and really remediate those before they start to become a problem. Long story short, I have to get a new water heater tomorrow, right? And that's really what you're trying to avoid. And testing APIs is a lot like this faucet, right? An API on itself, you send a request, you get a response. It doesn't really do all that much, right? But the contents of that response is actually a result of a carefully orchestrated system of internal and external services and databases and mainframes. And so to truly validate a faucet, it means really to validate the whole plumbing system and make, to make sure it's not leaking, for example. And that's where service virtualization can really help. If you want to validate a faucet, you don't need to create the whole house. You can use service virtualization in order to simulate water flowing through that faucet, or simulate a water heater with a certain amount of sediment to make sure it doesn't burst the pipes, or simulate a bathtub.
Thanks for watching this webinar preview on our YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed it. To watch the full webinar, click in the description below. In addition, you're going to find some other useful links down there. And of course, we hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks. Have a great day.